Traffic volumes at the Beitbridge border post in Limpopo is on the rise as travellers head home for the festive holidays. Vehicles are backed up for kilometres between Musina and the border post. Now, some travellers have been in the queue for over 3 days, exposed to the boiling heat and criminals. Former public protector and social justice chair at the Stellenbosch University Thuli Madonsela has called on non-government organisations to help out with food and water at the South African border post with Zimbabwe. She joins us now for more on this. Advocate Madonsela, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Now, travellers crossing the Beitbridge border post have had to contend with extremely long queues and hot temperatures, with some experiencing fatigue and even dizzy spells. What have you learnt about the situation at the border post?
Thank you. Good afternoon. What we've learned is that some people have been there since Sunday or even longer. Our informant told us that one of the problems is that they don't have water, because when you're traveling, you have part course for that day or for overnight. They don't have water and there isn't a shop nearby and the banks are far. They don't have food and some of them have children. I know that ENCA or one of the news channels said one person died. The person who was informing the Tuma Foundation thought 3 people had died, but it may well be that the other 2 just fainted, all because of sunstroke, dehydration, and hunger. There's also concern that this might end up being a super spreader event for the coronavirus, COVID-19.
Yeah, so it's been a very long wait for these travellers who have not been home since the start of the COVID-19 lockdown early this year. And I'm sure you'd agree that there is no sign that the long wait will end anytime soon.
Absolutely. The person we were speaking to until yesterday who was telling us that there's a chance that they might still be there on Christmas Day, which is said. And a lot of them can't have contact anymore because these are ordinary people that don't have power banks and their cell phones are not charging anymore.
Yeah. So pictures and videos of traffic congestion spanning some 15 kilometers at the border post have also been circulating on social media, with people questioning if any COVID-19 regulations are being followed. Surely this is a cause for concern, and it's also prompted calls for the South African and Zimbabwean governments to intervene. But exactly what steps can be taken to resolve the situation?
I suspect there are 2 things that need to be done. One is the rest of government needs to come to the help of the Department of Home Affairs. There's a chance that Home Affairs did not predict the volumes that we're going to be at the border. And for me, it's understandable, given the fact that people were in lockdown and they didn't travel home, and they saw this as the first and possibly best opportunity to go to their country. So that's the one thing. Government may be having a task team to help Home Affairs to increase the number of hands that are assessing the people and letting them go through. The second thing is the Department of Social Development, Gift of the Givers, and others to go there, including Doctors Without Borders, need to be on site to deal with the humanitarian crisis needs.
Now, Prof, you've called on NGOs to help out. How do you suggest they go about doing this?
It's just those that have branches in Limpopo, they could just call on their branches to go on site to deliver water. The urgent thing is water, some food, and things for babies, for those that are traveling with little children.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, for those South Africans who are watching this conversation, how can they assist in this situation?
The first thing is just understanding. Since I tweeted, there were people who've been saying charity begins at home. And I do understand, because people are hungry and angry. But we just have to understand that nobody created the situation we're in. We're all victims of the coronavirus, COVID-19. Our governments on all sides are doing their best to contain it. And these are just people. And if we have to be angry, we shouldn't be angry at foreign workers. We should be angry at delinquent businesses that only employ foreign workers. So that's an issue of really extractive or super extractive capitalism. We shouldn't hate our fellow brothers and sisters. And we must remember with Zimbabwe that they're part of the frontline states that made it possible for us to get our freedom. And it's our opportunity right now to be sympathetic and help where we can.
So we are less than 2 days to Christmas. What's your message for South Africans, especially as we try to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the country?
Well, firstly, be kind, practice Ubuntu, and part of that kindness is share whatever you have. But more importantly, make sure you don't spread the virus. It's not enough to cover yourself in a mask, although it's the most important thing. Wash your hands, but be careful about what surfaces you touch. I've been to a funeral and a wedding recently, and I noticed that people keep touching surfaces that they shouldn't be touching. For example, if you're going to give a person a glass of water, don't touch it on the rim. You can just touch the body of the glass. Let's just be careful. Let's be kind. Let's keep each other safe. And let's continue with the spirit of Ubuntu, even though it is very tough. We're going to get through this.
Yeah, we'll get through this. That's a former public protector and social justice chair at Stellenbosch University, Advocate Thuli Madonsela, speaking to us about the situation out at the Beitbridge border post. Let's move to this now.